Can the ER refuse people who come in for reasons that should be at an urgent care such as strep throat? ER takes patients according to the severity of their medical issue, i.e. severe trauma, heart attack, stroke, etc. It's called triage. If an ambulance or paramedic arrives with a patient, they will usually be assessed and stabilized. Just curious, why would you want to go to the ER for strep throat when urgent care is much cheaper and faster? In the United States, we have a law called the Emergency Medical Treatment and Labor Act that basically requires ERs to treat everyone who walks in the door. They can triage you and drop you to the lowest rung of the priority ladder, but they are required to treat you. Even without EMTALA, the legal risk of sending someone away from the ER without an examination is high enough that most would treat you anyway. If they told you to leave because it was just strep and they didn't examine you first, and it turned out to be cancer or something more severe, they open themselves to legal liability for failing to treat when you came in for care. ER will prioritize people who need immediate medical attention. Think car crash or shooting victims. The line in ER is not come first, serve first. You are given a queue number based on severity of your condition. If you are 10th in line and someone with serious issue comes in, you will be moved as 11th. So it's really a luck-based game tbh. If you go there with something that is not life-threatening, they might take a look, but they will just sit you down somewhere and you will have to wait for hours. BTW. Before you even think about it, ER people can tell a mile away if someone is faking. Don't try that, you'll just piss them off. No, but more serious patients will take priority, so you will be paying extra to wait longer instead of going to urgent care. Good heavens, no. Last time I had strep throat, I ended up in the ER with a temperature of 106.4. If it had kept rising, an urgent care would not have had the equipment to save me and they'd have called an ambulance. There's an urgent care right next to where I work, and they are constantly calling for an ambulance. I see it at least once a week. Our urgent care facilities aren't open 24 hours, either. No. Plus, until someone diagnoses you, then no one knows what you have. The medical team does triage and some issues are more obvious and life-threatening, so you may have to wait. I've been in a packed ER waiting room, and doctor would make rounds doing quick evaluation of each person to get a feel for who may need higher priority that isn't obvious physically or based on the initial vitals and blood tests the nurses run. A lot of incorrect answers here. A hospital that accepts Medicare is obligated by law to provide you a medical screening exam and treatment for a medical emergency, or at the very least stabilizing treatment and appropriate transfer. Most ERs will just treat you anyways. The cost of treating people with simple ailments is low, and you can bill them for a whole visit. On that note, some ERs will discharge people with what are deemed to be non-emergent conditions and refuse to treat them. The ERs I have heard of doing this will screen your insurance first. If you have private insurance or Medicare, they'll usually just treat you. And generally, if you are uninsured, they'll ask for a copay in the range of a few $100s to treat you. I did work at an ER that did this, and it was relatively short-lived because it's actually labor-intensive not to treat simple things. No, but they will put you in the back burner and you'd be there for at least a day and change while they prioritize the people in or potentially in life or death situations. No, they just put you at the back of triage. I've actually seen street people use this as a strategy to have a safe, warm, free place to spend a night. Go to the ER, say they have stomach pain or something, they get sent to sit down for the next 6 HRS, and there you go. You're not caught overnight in one of the worst areas of Baltimore. Saw this specifically in ER with connections to Johns Hopkins. It's actually pretty clever on the street people's parts, but kind of a sad indictment on both our treatment of the homeless and our medical system. They are legally required to perform a medical screening exam to check for medical emergencies, and to then provide treatment to stabilize those emergencies. If they determine there's no medical emergency, they are not legally required to do further tests or treatment. Whether or not they do is dependent on the facility policy and individual doctor. Yes, the ER can refuse treatment for non-emergency issues like strep throat, as it's typically more appropriate for urgent care. However, they may still provide care if the patient is in distress or if there's any uncertainty about the severity of the condition. No, but you'll probably wait for hours because it's not an emergency. Somewhere like Chicago, you might end up waiting until the normal clinic hours start. I work in an ER, as many have said. We'll see everyone, but it's triage. And if we're busy and a sore throat is all you have, then you'll be waiting a while. Now, if you come in at 3 a.m. might be seen quicker, but well be annoyed lol. It's 3 a.m. why are you coming to the ER now? No. As everyone said, they will do triage. Plus, be happy they are not rushing you in. It means nothing serious as those who are going first are close to death. No, but they are just at the bottom of the triage list, so anything coming in after you with a higher triage level jumps ahead. I walked in and was rushed right back. You don't want that. I was having a stroke. I don't remember much beyond that until much later that day and could no longer walk, and had my own room upstairs. Not in Michigan. In this state they are not allowed to turn anyone away. They can make you wait until everyone else has been seen though, if your reason for being there is insignificant. No, because of EMTALA. It's a federal law that an emergency department cannot turn you away, whether for ability to pay, condition, or any other reason. They will assess you, and may determine that no serious treatment is needed, but you'll still see a provider for them to make that determination. Unfortunately, no,